I'm Jerry James Stone and you're watching Cooking Stone. And on today's episode, we're gonna make a tomato sauce. We're gonna make a homemade tomato sauce. Now the thing about a tomato sauce is this. Tomato sauce is not just tomatoes that have been sauced. It's not just about having tomatoes in this sort of format. It's actually about creating a sauce that really highlights the tomato. So while it's still simple, it's not quite a spaghetti sauce, it's simple, there's a little bit of herbs and there is a trick to kind of highlighting those tomatoes, and that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna start by mincing our onion. All the peel. Let's go ahead and chop it up. Now we're gonna chop up our celery. Now, I mentioned that tomato sauce is all about highlighting the tomatoes. And so the key here, the reason that some people use carrot, I use celery because celery adds a salt component to the sauce, but carrots add salt and sugar. So you can do it with carrots, but that would be wrong and we don't want that, right? So we're just gonna mince this up here as nicely as we possibly can. And then the onion and the celery, we're gonna go ahead and sweat those in the pan for a little bit. So we're gonna add in, to begin with, we're gonna add a 1/4 cup of olive oil and warm that over a medium-low heat. And then we're gonna sweat the onions and the celery. So the onions and the celery in there, and the olive oil. So heat is medium-low. We're gonna add a pinch of salt. And we're just gonna cook these over a medium-low heat, lowish heat, and sweat them. And the key here is you don't want them to golden or anything like that. You just want to bring out the moisture and kind of cook them down. This should take about 10 to 15 minutes if you do it properly. Like I said, a really low heat is what you want here. These are cooking down nicely. So as one might expect with the term sweating, is you're just pulling all the moisture out. So you can see that they become really, really wet. They look sweaty. And so we're just gonna keep cooking this down. This is just to intensify the flavor. You wanna get that onion, that bite from the onion and that salt from the celery. So this has been just about 8 minutes right now, so we still have a little bit, about double the time to go. So now that those are cooked down, we're gonna add in our 4 cloves of garlic. Just go ahead and get that in there. Love the smell of garlic. Never go wrong with that. And we're just gonna cook that just for about a minute on its own. Now we're gonna add in our salt and our sugar and a splash of white balsamic vinegar. And that's just to bring up the acidity on this dish because, like I said, we want to just highlight the tomatoes. That's the key, is to highlight their flavor. We're not trying to alter them like you would with the spaghetti sauce where you use a lot of herbs to take it to the next level. We're just trying to showcase why we freaking love tomatoes. So just add the salt and sugar in there and the vinegar, and then I'm gonna turn up the heat a little bit, but you want to cook this down more, but you do not want the ingredients to brown, so it's really important. So just cook it for a few more minutes like this. I forgot to mention what we're gonna do in this step when we turn up the heat is we're trying to cook down any of the remaining liquid. So we spent that time sweating the onion and the celery, and now we're just trying to remove that liquid. So you want the heat up high enough to do that, but like I said, you do not want it to brown. So that's looking pretty good there. You can see everything's really starting to cook down. So now we're gonna add a tablespoon of tomato paste. And we're just gonna mix that around a bit, kind of getting everything coated in this nice, lovely tomato paste. It's starting to smell really good. You can just smell all those vegetables. When we add the tomatoes, this is gonna be really lovely. Now we're gonna add in our San Marzano tomatoes, so carefully. Tomato, you know how it is. This stuff, they could seriously power cars with tomato sauce. The slightest bump or momentum and the stuff could seriously splatter across the room. So the reason we're using San Marzano tomatoes, this is actually the key ingredient to making a good sauce. San Marzano tomatoes are actually what Roma tomatoes are based on, but San Marzano tomatoes, they have a thicker flesh, they have less seeds, and they have a more intense flavor. So they're really what you want to use when you're making a sauce. Any other tomato is just not acceptable. So we're gonna add this in. I had 2 cans of whole San Marzano tomatoes, and I just crushed them with my hand. You can crush them with anything, but really your hand is the best tool. And now we're just going to bring this to a simmer, and we're going to then turn it down and let it cook for about an hour. You want it to be about an hour, probably a little bit more. You want the consistency of like breakfast cereal. So this just has to thicken up. It's cooking down quite nicely here. We have about a half hour left. So I'm gonna go ahead and add in our fresh thyme. Sort of add this in towards the end. And this is just to really brighten up the sauce. We're not trying to overly flavor it. It's really, once again, as I've said, just to complement the tomato. So I'll just continue to let that cook for about another 30 minutes. It's smelling so good. Let's take a little taste.